Hey everyone, this is Cody with Rent Reporters, and this is why choosing laminate countertops instead of granite was the best financial decision that I ever made. And one of the best financial decisions that you can make is liking and subscribing to our channel for more videos like this every week. So about 4 years ago, I started a new job and I got about a 45% raise. And no, I wasn't going from making $10 an hour to $14.50. This was a really large raise that genuinely stepped me up into a different income and lifestyle bracket. For the first time in my life, I wasn't scraping by anymore. I had now moved above average middle class at the national level and way above average when compared to my state of Georgia, and I was really excited because all of my grinding and hard work had finally paid off and I could start living the life that I had always wanted. So, of course, the very first thing that I did was start looking for a new apartment in a price range that I had never considered before. So I looked at a bunch of these gorgeous apartments with these high-end kitchens that I'd love to cook in. They had concierge services and perks and hardwood floors. I mean, I couldn't decide, did I want the rustic, refined beauty with the beautiful trees and outdoor living? Did I want the sleek and modern with clean lines? Or did I want contemporary industrial in the heart of Midtown? I had a lot that I could pick and choose from. I wasn't rolling in money, I wasn't over six figures or anything like that, but I was doing very, very well. And after all of this looking and hours of tours, I instead chose a much more normal but still nice apartment just across the street from the mall and shopping centers in this really great suburb because I realized I could get more bang for my buck there, and I love being just a couple of minutes away from two awesome historic downtowns. When choosing the apartment that I would call home for the foreseeable future, I had a big choice to make. Did I want the upgraded apartment unit with the brighter paint and the granite countertops and the black appliances and rail lighting fixtures for an extra $250? Or did I want the normal one with those same beige walls that you see in 90% of apartments with the basic laminate countertops and the white appliances? And after much thought, I opted for the boring basic unit. It was still a much better place than the $800 apartment that I was coming from. That was in a very meh part of town, but it was nowhere near as nice as some of the others I had seen, and certainly not as nice as the one literally next door to me. And it had all of these upgrades that I could have gone with, and it was right next door to me. And that decision actually turned out to be one of the best financial decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. You see, originally I wanted to buy a house, but I couldn't thanks to a bankruptcy that I had filed a couple years before, plus the fact that I hadn't been the best at saving money until somewhat recently to that time. So I figured that I would stay in my next apartment for 2 to 3 years while I saved up with my new salary. But I realized that I could instead save that extra $250 plus my regular savings, and I could actually afford to buy a house in just a single year. It would be tough, I would have to be tight with money, but I realized that my mortgage would actually be a little bit less for a $220,000 house with 1,600 square feet than it would be for the upgraded apartment next door to me that clocked in at a whopping 850 square feet, sharing a wall with neighbors below and to either side of me. And if I opted for the laminate countertops in my apartment, I could afford to put in granite countertops in my house, something that would actually be an investment and pay me back in the long term instead of just an additional monthly expense that had no real benefit for me. So that's exactly what I did. I saved up, I budgeted better, I stopped wasting my free time browsing Amazon and looking for stuff that I didn't need, and I saved up enough to buy a house. And at the end of the day, would those granite countertops in the apartment have made a dramatic difference in my life? Not at all. They looked and they felt nice, but that was about it. Or what about the rail lighting in the kitchen? I already had 2 giant windows right in front of the kitchen. I could see fine, and I had plenty of natural light. All those things would have done is just costed me more money for something that had zero benefit to my life, other than just being simply nicer to look at. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're making more money, think about your long-term goals. My long-term goal is to build a real estate portfolio to create financial independence, and I almost sacrificed my long-term goal for a short-term benefit, which was just the illusion of a slightly more luxurious life. It was a nice apartment, but it's still an apartment. I don't own it. I pay somebody else to borrow it until the rates increase, until I can't afford it anymore. And, when was the last time an apartment lowered the rates for you? So think and act long-term with your money and prioritize 5-year, 10-year, and 30-year goals over your 1 day, 1 week, and 1 year goals. You'll thank me later for it. So until next time, this is Cody with Rent Reporters, and I will see you in our next video.